What's going on?
Hey rock stars, today for Show and Tell, I brought my Gibson Tribute Series Les Paul Jr. double cut single P90 model. When Gibson first released this model, this was the cheapest guitar in their lineup. A couple years later, they dropped the price even more and discontinued this model altogether. But since I picked it up, this guitar has become one of my personal favorites, and I'm going to tell you all about it today on Ray Plays Guitar. Let's get into it. So the Les Paul Jr. was originally designed to be, a stripped down, more affordable version of a Les Paul. It just had the bare essentials. Didn't have any of the fancy appointments. It didn't have the binding, didn't have the arch top or anything like that. Perfect guitar for students and working musicians because it sounded great, gave you everything you needed, but didn't have the price tag to come along with it. And this guitar, this Tribute Series version, is even a stripped down version of the stripped down version. So what is this? Let's talk about the specs of this guitar first. Like I said, it's a Gibson Les Paul Jr. Tribute Series.
This is just a tribute.
So the tribute, I guess that's denoting that it's even the more stripped down version. It has a mahogany body with a maple neck, which Gibson did a lot in the 70s, used maple necks on a lot of their Les Pauls. Has a rosewood fingerboard. I think it has a Graph Tech nut, 12-inch radius, fretboard. It's a slim taper neck, very, very comfortable neck. It's got the Kluson tuners. And a single wraparound compensated bridge, which intonates very, very well. It has satin or matte finish, whatever you call it, nitrocellulose finish, and it's finished in, they call this worn ebony, I believe. I call it black. And so what makes this Tribute Series even more stripped down than the original Junior? So one of the most significant differences is that they mounted all the electronics onto this 5-ply pickguard, which the original ones, this pickup would be mounted right into the wood. Even the output jack here is mounted to the pickguard. So this allows much easier manufacturing. They just put all the electronics here. Once the body is routed and put together, they just slap this right on here and you're done. No additional hookup or soldering is necessary. Also, the matte finish and not having to fill the pores or anything, that makes the finish process much easier. They don't have to do multiple coats of nitrocellulose with sanding in between. But the frets feel great on here. So Gibson first introduced this guitar in 2019. Less than a year later, they made some modifications to this model. First of all, they offered a 2-pickup model, but you can still get it in a 1-pickup configuration. But they moved the output jack from being top-mounted to being side-mounted. One thing I also noticed, I pulled the pickguard off of here, and I noticed that the neck tenon, or the part of the neck that goes into the body here, extends through. It goes like all the way through here. It goes through that area where the neck pickup route would be. And I noticed on the second iteration of these, where they offered 2 pickup options, all of the guitars, whether it's single or double pickup, will have the cavity for the neck pickup routed out. Of course, they're just going to do them all the same and then just put in whatever electronics you need. But to me, I have a feeling that affects the sustain. If you're going to have less wood connecting the neck to the body, there's going to be less transfer of energy going through and maybe get a little less sustain. But one thing I noticed with this guitar, plenty of sustain. I love it. You can go for a bite and come back, still be hearing that one.
Exactly. famous for its sustain.
So this particular model caught my eye. I don't know where I first saw it, but I was like, hey, what's up with this? Is that even a real Gibson? I thought it was a fake. I'm like, what's going on with this? So then I started to look into it a little bit, and then I started to see these kind of all over the place. In fact, I had the pleasure of opening up for the band Shenandoah. And their guitar player, NickyV, had this particular model. So I asked him about it, and he said he loved it. He had the side-mounted one, so he had version 2, but he had the single pickup. He found it online, I think eBay. He said he paid $600 for it, which is, you know, what they were going for originally, I believe. Right? $599, $699? No, they were going for $699 originally, I think. But they lowered the price to $599 when they discontinued these. So he told me he got his for $600. That figure kind of stuck into my head. Fast forward a couple months, I just happened to be cruising around Facebook Marketplace, and I see one of these. And I'm like, oh my God, I messaged the guy immediately. He never gets back to me. I'm all bummed. I look back on there. It's marked as sold. Of course it is. So I go on with my day. A couple hours later, something told me, hey, check Facebook Marketplace again. So I pull out my phone. Lo and behold, I see this guitar out there, and it's for $600. I message the guy immediately. He gets back to me, and as fate would have it, I wind up with this guitar. Yes. And it was in great shape. And one thing I'm noticing about this guitar is I think the body is a one-piece body. I'm looking at the grain here. I don't know if you could tell. There's a line here, but that does not continue up here. The grain is all continuous all the way throughout. I've had a couple of people look at this, and they're like, yeah, I don't see any other lines anywhere. But I've seen 2, 3, 4-piece bodies of this guitar. But yeah, I think this is a one-piece. Yeah, there's that line that confused me. I thought that was it, but it doesn't continue, and it doesn't show up on this side either. But anyway, well, however many pieces, this guitar sounds great, and it plays great. So yeah, this was the cheapest guitar that Gibson had to offer at the time when they were offering this. And now I see them going consistently for around $1,000, $1,200. I saw a couple this morning on Reverb. One was going for like $775. Somebody should snag that up. But yeah, most of them are $1,000 or more. But it's a great guitar.
This is just a tribute.
And yeah, it only has one pickup, but depending on how you play it. You know, you pick it up here, get more of a rounder sound. Plenty of tonal variety depending on how you approach it. But I love turning it down. I love turning P90s down. They clean up so well. They're so different than than humbuckers or regular or Fender style single coils. Let me dial up a straight up clean sound here. We'll do like a Vox setting here. Running through a Strymon Iridium. Another difference between version 1 of this Tribute series model and the version 2 is on the headstock, the first version, which only came out in a single pickup model, this will say Junior, right? Does that say Junior? Yeah, it says Junior on there. Whereas the second iteration V2 will have Les Paul model. It'll say model there instead of Junior. Well, that's my Gibson Jr. Tribute Series double cutaway in a nutshell. Do you have one of these? Do you have version 1? Do you have version 2? I'm considering getting the 2 pickup version because I really love that setting where you have both pickups on. Get that really sparkling, chimey sound. I love that. Yeah, let me know if you got one of these and how you like it. If you enjoyed this video, please do me a favor, hit that like button, share this video with your friends, subscribe to my YouTube channel, hit that notification bell, but most of all, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I really appreciate it. We'll see you next time.